Welcome to Kim and Angela Talk. Kim is a biodynamic craniosacral therapist, Reiki master, PSYCH-K facilitator, curious human, forever student, and a loving mom. Angela is a Reiki master, PSYCH-K facilitator, emotion code and body code practitioner, metaphysical nerd, compulsive learner, and childless cat lady. Come along for the ride as they explore the mysteries of the universe in their own lives, all while enjoying a good laugh together.
Hi, I'm Angela.
And I'm Kim.
And together we're Kim and Angela Talk.
Hi, Angela.
Hi, Kim. Hi, audience.
Jinx.
I know this is going to be a thing with us now.
Yeah, exactly. We're
One day we'll so be in sync with us.
Yes.
So anyway, blah, blah, blah.
Good. All good. So excited to be here today once again.
Yes, it is really lovely here today, actually. Nobody else is going to agree with me, but it's like cloudy outside.
Yeah. It seems genteel out today. Yeah. It's not too hot, and like you said, light cloud, and it's just just seems quiet.
It's so nice, and it's like it's the beginning of fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't say that word too strongly. But
I know.
Not yet. Not yet. Soon, but not yet.
I love. Actually, fall is like one of my favorite seasons.
Yeah.
Well,
when the leaves change and you get that smell in the air and it's crispy, you put the sweaters on.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's definitely the cooler weather after the summer, and just the change in the air, the crispness. I don't know. I just love it. I mean, I love all the seasons when but summer gets a little hot sometimes.
Yeah, the dryness, I think for me, I feel very badly for all the grass and the plants and stuff. So it just seems very crisp, like they're struggling. So
there's that. And well, conveniently, that leads right into our theme for today.
It does. Our lovely theme. Would you like to share a theme today?
Sure. So today I pulled the theme for our podcast video thingy, and it's this card, Earth, which we have gotten before. Mm-hmm. But the specific message was about cooking with love, gardening, and being in nature. And it's just so funny how everything kind of wraps in, because earlier today I was at this consciousness circle, you could call it, and that came up a lot about the idea of grounding, being in nature, hugging trees as part of the practice of increasing your life force energy, and definitely being in nature and being very conscious of earth energies. So I've just, again, all of this stuff is so interrelated, and it definitely came up with this sort of, I don't know, just all this connectedness, these messages, these themes, everything that's been so relevant lately for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And should I just go ahead and talk about my message?
Sure, if you want to. Yeah, I mean, we can do it whichever direction we want to do it all in. I mean, they all tie in nicely together. I'm going to say my message, your message, and the audience message kind of interweave today. So I don't necessarily think one leads into the other. They just kind of all mesh. So we'll just talk about all the things that came up.
It's amazing because here's this Earth card, again, from our elemental deck, which we have now. Mm-hmm. It's just funny because there's this idea, and it came up a lot in this consciousness circle, people talking about listening to their guides, and, all sorts of stuff came up, past lives, this, that, the other thing. But also very much the fact that, we're on this planet. Part of what's happening now is the planet is moving into this phase, or is in this phase of transition of the raising of the consciousness of the planet and all the people who live upon it, hopefully. And it's also one of the reasons why things are pretty tumultuous out there in the world, and generally, and in a lot of people's lives. So the importance of grounding and spending time in nature was discussed. And then this is the message for our video. And then the cooking was specifically about cooking with love, because the message was, when someone cooks for you when you're not feeling well, for me, that's cooking with love. And what is that? But infusing the energy of love into what you're doing. And gardening, being in touch with Mother Earth, being in nature, having the Mother Earth's energy flow into you and increase your life force energy, and like having the rays of the sun increase your life force energy, all these really lovely things. And what it really says to me is that you don't have to be psychic. You don't have to be a star seed. You don't have to be woo-woo at all. This is so integral to every aspect of our lives, of being on this planet, being a human being, cooking, eating, the energy that we put into the food. Because when we cook with love, what do we do is like we're eating the nourishing food, but the love enhances that nourishment, the ability of that food to be nourishing. It, nourishes our bodies and our souls. Gardening. What are you doing but loving the earth? Being outdoors. What are you doing but like soaking in those lovely negative ions, if you want to be all like that about it. But like, it's just so natural. You don't have to be like, oh, well, my angels and my guides. I mean, all that stuff's awesome, but that it's not necessary. You can just be.
Yeah.
And my message was specifically for my Druid Animals Oracle, and it was the Raven. It was the card, but the specific message was only the seeker and healer. So for me, it's like, with this message was the seeker, the healer, can find this energy out in nature as part of one, being in tune with nature, in tune with all of these aspects that are really an everyday part of life, or can be, if you are conscious about it.
Definitely. I agree.
Certified.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, my message, like I said, they all interweave together. And the message that came up for myself was from one of my favorite decks, the Secret Language of Darkness deck. And the specific card that came up was the Wounded Child. I love these cards because we'll have to do a little review on these, but I just love looking at them. It just seems to kind of like, the light just kind of pops out. So the particular message that came up related to that card was inner child self-nurture, tending to your childhood wounds and make the world a safer place. So relative to that, I think getting out in nature, getting out in the sunshine, even forgetting all the huge inner work we do with our wounds and our different modalities and stuff. But really, but just really starting with bare bones basics. And then we can kind of go up from there. And just getting outside, running around on the grass, sitting with your feet on the grass, getting out for that morning sunshine or morning walk with the dog, just absorbing the rays. Like, it's just so soothing to the soul when you just get the smells of outside. If you've had a day where you've been busy and doing work inside and haven't really had a chance to get outside, and then you just go, even for an evening walk, even if the sun has gone down, go in the moonlight, and just get the wafts of the smells and the breeze on your face. And, it kind of changes your whole perspective of the day, where you could be like absorbed on a computer or absorbed in the news if you're watching the news and just kind of all that outside stuff. But then you go outside and it's quiet, depending on where you're living or what time you're going out. And it just kind of reminds you like it's okay. And so I feel like it does give you that kind of remember you're safe kind of thing, and you're taken care of and part of, and you see how nature's just kind of doing its little thing around you and all contented with itself, so it just reminds you you're part of that. But you need to kind of go outside and do that, not just kind of in the house. But just even if it's just in the backyard or out on your little balcony or whatever it is, just that moment of hearing the birds singing in the trees, or just to smell the air.
Yeah, it can be anywhere and doing anything. You can be in a city. We've talked about that, the dandelion coming and pushing its way up through the cracks,
Yep.
walking around the neighborhood, looking at people's plants.
Hmm.
So when I was leaving this person's house, which was like in a very gorgeous location, actually out here, and like I went into his backyard and there's like a freaking pond out there. I was like, well, this is nice. It's
Pretty.
real, it's easy to be zen when this is your like life,
Zen.
right?
Yeah.
But
Ideally, yeah, that'd be
yeah.
lovely. Yeah.
So I was leaving to get ready to come here, and I turned my car around or whatever, and there's a crow in the road,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another crow, and then another crow. So there's three crows. And then I
Right.
think of it's like, oh, that funny Three Little Birds, the Bob Marley song, right?
Right.
So I get my phone hooked up and my playlist on, and the first song in my playlist is Moving Right Along, which is, of course, from the Muppets movie. And I was like, oh, that's appropriate, because Moving Right Along, Hermit and Fozzie. But then the very next song, because I always hit that song's the first one, and I hit shuffle.
Right.
The very next song was Bob Marley's Three Little Birds.
Wow. Oh my God.
So
There's a sign. There was a sign, and then there was a sign.
yeah, like
That's right.
affirmation, like right away affirmation of the message that everything will be okay.
Nice.
And especially with all the stuff that we were talking about, transitions and blah, 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 and like all the things that are going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just another way to say, it's all around you. Nature is all around you. The messages are all around you as the seeker and the healer, and I say healer as we are all our own healers. All of these messages, every aspect of healing is all around us. Yeah, of course, doing the kind of work we do is like very specific and like kind of takes it up a notch. Mm-hmm. But you can also just go to the ocean or take a walk in your neighborhood, look outside at the sunset. All these things, look at the birds, pay attention to what the birds are doing. I was driving the other day and like this one seagull swooped down and then another one joined it and they were like, woo, and all the stuff. And it was just so beautiful. And I love seagulls. They're the one of the birds that you watch that it's like they have such joy in flying, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So it's just like one of those things of just affirmation that it's all around us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all everywhere. And we just have to be open to it and tap into it. It's just gorgeous.
Agreed. Yes. And so can I jump to our audience message, which, like we said, weaves right into all this, which is pretty much just saying. So actually, I should show you the card that came up. That would be, so it came up from the same deck as the original theme. So from this deck here, the Elemental Oracle, and this is the card here, and it's East, and it's talking about new beginnings. But the particular message that came up with the card for the audience was talking about doing something new. The sun also came up in the message, looking back to ancient world traditions. And I was thinking, because one of the big things I love watching are all those Egyptian shows and all the discoveries that they do in all the different pyramid areas and all sorts of new things that they're discovering. And it's just so exciting with the technology. But one of the things coming out, and based on the card message that was coming up to do with the ancient world, is, Egyptians and other ones obviously celebrated the sun and had very particular things set up to acknowledge the solstices and, just the whole power of, as you said earlier when we were discussing the podcast before we got on here, was that, without the sun, we're not very far. So we kind of need the sun. So it's important to get outside and see the sun, as everything needs the sun. And so just the other part of it was, do something completely different. And we were talking about going back to the theme, the gardening thing. So, gardening's not always accessible to everyone or, easy for everyone to do. But even just getting out, even if you have the luxury of having a gardener, even just meandering around your property, if you're lucky enough to have a property, or if not, then, going for a walk in the neighborhood and, checking out the flowers. Like I said, sometimes you can see a really pretty one and you smell it and then it smells horrible. And then other times you have a smell in the air that you're wondering where it's coming from, and it happens to be from like a flower that you might not even notice, but it's got a very lovely smell to it. And just sort of observing. That's kind of gardening, just observing. Even if you have a plant that's not doing well and you notice that there's all kinds of aphids, well, if you actually take the time to look around the plants, then you'll notice, oh, there's a ton of ladybugs around, because that's what they eat, are the aphids. So, everything's kind of in balance. And it's just, again, about awareness, appreciation for the whole interweaving of all the different ecosystems that, we kind of don't even notice. The spider catching something and the birds eating the different insects, and, everything interplays with everything. And so it's great to get in the vibration of that. Just by noticing it changes us, just that we start to kind of vibrate with that whole natural earth vibration. And that really makes you feel calmer inside and grateful. And yeah, it's a happy place. So just.
Well, that's the other thing, is like, it's all about our intention.
Mhm.
Energy follows intention. And if you go out in the world with the intention of noticing and healing and absorbing these energies, the earth energies, having the earth energy come up through your feet, that's all that it really takes. And, especially for like an everyday kind of grounding and just being at peace in the world. Because when we work with somebody, they have the intention of like doing some healing on their, and getting some help.
Mhm.
But they're open to it, and their intention is for this to happen.
Mhm.
And even if they're not quite so open to it, or they're like closed off, the intention is still there, or else they wouldn't really be working with you, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They wouldn't have showed up. They wouldn't have, paid you whatever the exchange of energy is. And so there's that intention to be, even if it's like hard for them to be open, it's there. The cracks are there
Mhm.
for them to be open. And so being able to do that in the world, in our daily lives, is so important. And there's so many different ways of doing it. Like, like maybe it's just a walk in the neighborhood. You're walking your dog, or you're walking around watching other people walk their dogs, if you don't have a dog, or you're dragging your really pissed off cat behind you.
Maybe not such a great idea, but
Right.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was a good idea.
My cats are like not down with that.
Yeah.
But doing like maybe going to the park, and you can be barefoot on the park,
Mhm.
or you could be doing and just sitting there, or you can be doing qigong in the grass, or you could just walk over, if like you're lucky enough to have a beach close by where you can walk on, just like anything that you can do to like be out there in nature, and being open to these energies, and acknowledging the fact that, yeah, like these, like water, ocean, river, lakes, trees, they all have this amazing energy that is so healing. There's the practice of forest bathing. That's a Japanese practice, but really anybody can do it. It's, you just go out and you're open to that energy in the trees, in the forest. Do you not have a forest around? Are you in a city? Well, plants. Have a plant. I have a spider plant that I've had for over 20 years now, actually. And that thing actually has it's a tough plant, because it's survived me, and it actually helped me to grow as a plant person, because now I have lots of plants. But that's where I started, because before, if I had a plant, it would, like, it had a benign neglect, it would feel like, and die and whatever. But like these spider plants are just so great. And I've heard people be like, oh, they're so ugly. It's like, that's you're putting this judgment on this living being that's quite beautiful, and really improves the air quality and wherever you're at. And it really is a gift that keeps on giving, because you get little spider plant babies,
Exactly.
and yeah, they're great, and they're really hardy. And like, they don't mind being root bound. If you forget to water them for a few months, they can come back.
Yep. They
All
are.
these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And so for me, they were a way to kind of really appreciate this life that then keeps giving for you, no matter how you're treating it. And then also opened me up to be, oh, well, maybe I can get this plant and not kill it. And maybe I can do this plant. And I've got actually quite a few plants. And so if you don't have access to a forest or parks or whatever, you can have plants, and you don't even need fancy pots or anything. You can make a pot out of anything. You can get stuff it can be so cheap, and you can get free plants. I have a friend who would go to basically dumpster dive behind nurseries because like they're actually still living plants.
They just don't look quite.
Yeah, they just don't look so great. They're like on the edge, and she would nurse them back to health. And like have these like lovely plants that she didn't have to pay anything more.
Right.
Because they were just being thrown away. So there's so many ways to nurture and love and to have this energy of the earth and do the gardening and everything and really bring it into your space. If you want to have indoor plants, if you do have pets, you need to be aware of what's toxic to animals and stuff.
Important.
Spider plants, bonus, they have a similar compound in them as catnip. So my cat Honey, when she was still with us, would chew the F out of my spider plant. Be like, dude, what's up?
Happy cat.
He's a very happy cat. And so, but, so you want to be aware of that stuff, but like, it's so great to have like this other living force in your environment.
Yeah.
And it's another way to be in touch with nature.
Very true. And I was also going to say it's really great to actually talk with your plants.
Yes.
And to just tell them how beautiful they are and how great they are, and to thank them for putting up with your neglect if you happen to be. I'm also kind of one of those sparse waterers. But yeah, you can really just have that feeling of gratitude, which is an important feeling to have related to our plants, for what they bring. So it's another opportunity to have that. And I was also thinking, even if you don't have plants and you don't necessarily live near the woods, even sitting, looking out a window, if you can spot a tree, watching it in the wind, or moon gazing at night through the window, if you can spot, if you're lucky enough to have a clear night. So any of those things, bringing attention to just the natural world, if you have the ability to do so. It doesn't have to be grandiose. So
yeah,
we say outside, we say sun, but again, sitting in a sunny window, if you have one, that's also great.
Yeah, if you can't get outside for whatever reason.
The intention is there, and it's just about, feeling into being part of something grander than ourselves.
Yeah, and I also love the fact, too, with the message for the audience about beginnings, because every day is a new opportunity to begin again.
Yeah.
And I definitely took that to heart when I really started healing consciously. It's like, okay, I screwed up yesterday. I was angry. This thing happened, and this whatever. But every day is a new day. Every day is a new opportunity to heal, to be the person you really want to be, to experience life in a different, more positive way, if that's what you want. And if that's not what you want, well, you're probably not watching this video. But it's true that there's always a new beginning. Every moment is an opportunity for a new beginning. Being able to sort of catch yourself and be like, okay, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Why am I being triggered? And have that self-awareness, and to say, okay, this thing happened. It triggered me. It made me feel, judgy about this person, or I was annoyed by this thing that happened. Well, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? This person really is a mirror for me. We've talked about this before. This is a mirror. I'm looking back at myself, what's going on? Every moment is a new opportunity for a beginning, or an opportunity for a new beginning, however you want to put that.
Mhm.
Both work.
Yeah.
So thinking of it that way, that, it's never really too late.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's only too late if you think that.
Mhm.
I've definitely heard people being like, oh, I'm too old to change and I'm too, well, okay, you are, because that's what you think.
Right. Right.
That's the energy you're putting out there. I was working with someone the other day who was like 70 years old, and she's like, I'm still have time to find my purpose. I still, I'm still here. I've still got things to do. I'm still working on my healing. And that's lovely. It's like, she's not giving up. She's not saying I'm too old and whatever. It's like,
I mean, that's the biggest gift that you can give yourself your entire life.
yeah,
Is always, evolving, achieving, learning, growing
yeah,
for yourself.
yeah.
And then it branches out, and then of course it helps others if you're not going to be stuck in your little miserable bubble. But it is really all about your journey and where you get to in your awareness and introspective of yourself, and learning about yourself, your dark sides and your bright sides and all the sides. So
Exactly.
it's the gift that keeps on giving if you allow it.
Yeah, just like the spider plant.
Just like the spider plant. Exactly. Exactly like that. We're just like the spider plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what makes us so great, is that we can evolve, we can change. We do change. Even if we decide that we don't want to change, we're still changing, and everything's changing around us too. So better to accept that reality and move along with it than to fight it. And yeah. Yeah.
And just recognizing too that, we are here in this beautiful blue ball traveling through space, and it's a miracle to be here. Appreciate that. Appreciate our Mother Earth. I love this picture too of Earth, because she is a mother. Look how beautiful she is. It has so much. I mean, there's the ocean, the water, the whole thing. It's not one thing or the other. It's all of it. And she is our mother. Like, without her, we wouldn't be here, We'd be, maybe on another planet, whatever. But this place where we are now is so magical and so beautiful, and she cares for us. And by doing these things, by like being conscious with love when we do things like the cooking or gardening or being out in nature and giving that love back to her, she then gives it even more so back to us. And we say, the threefold law is that what we put out returns to us threefold. So this love that we put out does come back to us threefold,
So it's good, and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this message for today, and all the messages that we got for today, and also the ones that I've just been getting in my life.
Mm-hmm. All tied in together.
It is, because everything will be okay. I know it's been very difficult for a lot of people right now, and you can really go down the doom spiral if you're on the social media or watching the TV and the news. Yeah. Just gonna put the in front of everything now. But doing that, you are putting it, when you do that and you're putting this energy of anxiousness out there and fretting about things that really are not in any way something that you can control, that's the energy you're putting out. And that's the energy you're creating in your sphere. So watch the news if you want to, but also keep in mind that you need to be doing it consciously with the idea that, like, okay, maybe you're wanting to be informed, but try not to let it affect you and your energy, which I find I can't personally do. And when I talk to my dad and he talks about how, anxious he is about stuff, I'm like, stop watching the fucking news, Dad. Because he watches like MSNBC all the time.
I know.
And at least he doesn't watch Fox News. He's not that good. He's on the other side. He's on my. But, being able to kind of put that aside right now, because, people also say, think globally, act locally. And it's true in a lot of different ways, but if we're thinking globally of the consciousness of the planet rising, well, what's acting locally but within ourselves?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it. No, but I mean, it makes sense too. And I've heard different things, and it really resonated where, yeah, we have to be aware of obviously things that are not correct and not good. And I think part of the transition is all of this stuff coming up to be more in our faces, to be able to clear it out, and that it will be changing. But that it's really important to focus on the world that we want to come into existence, as opposed to concentrating on where it's at now, which kind of almost keeps it where it is. So you have to do the imagining and the conscious, desires of where we want to go forward from there. So getting out into nature and resonating with all the good, positive things really will kind of help propel it in that direction, as opposed to, like if you go in the backyard and the trees are all green and or around the neighborhood and things are in bloom, versus you're watching the news and you're seeing catastrophic destruction of, all the trees in a particular area or other bad environmental things, right? So now your energy is going, oh my gosh, it's like, it's all horrible. It's all burning down and there's like nothing left. But if you go out and concentrate on the beauty that is there and imagine that everywhere and for everyone, then you're sending out those love vibes to the nature, as opposed to the, oh my God, kind of thing of what's going on. And it really is kind of fear versus love and appreciation and gratitude. And I mean, that's, I think, where it really comes down to, really, as opposed to, going, like you said, down the spiral of doom. So we want to concentrate on, no, we're over here. We're switching into the lovely and just make it so.
Yeah. And then too, if you, just one of the things you just said made me think of the David Hawkins book, Power versus Force.
Mm-hmm.
Power is what we have when we act from a place of love. And force is what happens when, that sort of like ego-driven, trying to manipulate or control, which is a lot of what's happening right now in the world. Power always wins. Love always wins. It might take a while, and things will probably get worse before they get better. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But the more we focus and the more people focus on the love part and the gratitude part, then
that will prevail.
Yeah, exactly.
That will prevail.
Exactly. So, yay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So how are we feeling about today's podcast?
Well, I love the theme and I love the messages, and it's probably slightly redundant for people because I know we harp on getting outside and gardening and having gratitude for things and being in touch with Mother Earth. But I think it keeps coming up because it's really important for us to focus on. It's kind of like, sorry to be, saying it again, but
record.
Yeah.
This is hard, though.
I know. That's just, it's a priority for now. So it's definitely something people need to focus on. So,
well, yeah, I mean, with everything that's going on, it really is a priority. And honestly, the more people focus on that and appreciating nature and the climate, I think just the more good happens in the world. As our consciousness raises, the more care for the planet, but also the more care for the planet and the more we get out to the nature, the higher our consciousness rises.
So it's more care for ourselves and then everybody else. And
because what are we but a microcosm of what?
Yes.
Microcosm.
We're connected. FYI.
What?
Oh no. Did I just let something out of the bag?
I think you did.
Oh, that was a secret. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. It's all good. It was people were going to find out someday.
Yeah, someday it was going to dawn on them. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling pretty complete about this podcast. How about you?
I think
it's a quick one too.
Sorry?
It's a quick one too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
we're
yeah.
to the point. We're to the point. So that's good.
Yeah, today was definitely a to the point one, maybe because we have talked about it a lot because it is so important.
Mhm.
It really is. It really is. And I'll just say a quick anecdote just to string it on a little bit longer. A friend of mine, we've talked a lot about these things. I've worked with him a lot on his healing journey. And one of the things we've talked about was kind of like what you mentioned, or maybe something that actually this guy at the thing mentioned was like, if it's raining outside, you can go outside. Oh, it's great, it's raining, blah, and be pissed about it. It can affect your whole day. Or you can go outside and be like, oh, it's raining, and all the plants and the grass and the trees are getting some water, and it's cool, and it smells so good. So it's all about how your perspective. And it didn't take too long, but for him to really embrace this, and like he's like, oh, and the bunnies are out, and I'm naming the bunnies, and that one's Bun Bun, and that one's Homer. He loves The Simpsons, and and like he's like sending me pictures of the bunnies, and like they're probably all different bunnies, but who knows? But because we have tons of bunnies in our area, and so it's like being able to just really have like change your perspective is really important. And again, it goes back to the every day is a new day. It's a new opportunity for a beginning. So one day, maybe, you wake up and you're like, oh, cloudy, blah, 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 about the weather, but you can still change your perspective at any moment, or maybe the next day it's still cloudy and rainy, but the next day you can be like, oh, okay, well, I can enjoy this. And you can just work on it, just every day.
And also, again, it comes to appreciation as well. Like you were saying, like it's overcast or it's raining. The plants really need it. The animals also drink the water that's around when it's so dry. It's like, it's a balance of things. It's like if it was sunny all the time or if it was raining all the time, not great, but just appreciation for, again, here comes a little change. As we said, we have to adopt to change and just kind of go with the flow of the day. But like there's a technical word. I know we've said this before on the podcast and I can't remember what it is, but there's a technical term for when you smell the wet grass. There's like a name of it because we all love that smell of wet, fresh grass. And it brings us pleasure for, sensing through our sense of smell, right? And so we're meant to appreciate these things because they are good things. It is great for the grass. It's great for us. And, just really the interconnectedness and appreciating each thing for its own merits and not complaining about it because it all has a function. I mean, I even to say, and I hate, I get to talk about news, seeing like the forest fires, because we have a few where we are now, not directly where we are, but nearby enough. But, you think of that and you see the smoke and you see the fire and the firemen and it's heartbreaking and all the animals and so on. But, it is kind of, even though I think it was summer nature with lightning, but I think these were unfortunate human intervention of fires. But forests, on the planet too, have their own cycles, where they won't get new growth, and it's part of like, taking it apart to then have that reestablish itself. So even when it looks like, and you kind of go, oh, don't like that, and it seems quite intense, but it is also part of the cycle. Yeah. So you can appreciate it to a degree as well, but I know it's not.
Some trees will only grow after a forest fire.
Yes, like the actual seeds of the trees will not produce a tree unless it's been heated to a certain extent with the fire. So so nature has its own way of taking care of that if it does happen, which it does. But so again, you have to just hope everybody's good, and that then things will.
Yeah. Still no reason to start a forest fire, people.
Definitely not. That's where again
nature comes in.
Yeah,
let nature take care of it.
Yeah, just have to be careful. Yeah, definitely be careful because it's very dry out there.
And speaking of nature, Tempe is saying it's time to take me on to Nature Mommy.
Oh no, she was kind of like, "Hey, you done?" No,
did you do yet? You said you were done. I heard you.
I heard that word. I got out. We were ready. It's a false ending. It was a false ending, guys.
Now we're done. I'm sorry, Tempe. It's all my fault. I started this other story.
You guys, yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, once again.
Yes, and have a really lovely week or whatever until the next time we see you or you see us. Oh, yeah, and please like and subscribe.
Yes. Anytime you can, that would be great.
You know what this means if you're Persian? I'll tell you later. Okay, bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Great audience. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thanks for watching Kim and Angela talk. Please like and subscribe below. Click on the links below in the description to book sessions with Kim at keycranio.com and with Angela at treeoflighthealingarts.com.